Welcome back everyone to Mega Man 5! We got rid of all the robot masters, so now it's time to go and meet our big villain for this story, Protoman! Yeah, apparently between Mega Man 4 and 5 he actually found the time to build itself this big freaking castle or something. And yeah, Protoman is apparently a bad guy again. Like, I know, this series is not exactly deep in terms of story, but like it really shows how they had no it really seems on the surface level, at least somebody watching and playing these games after the fact without really never reading a manual or stuff like that, seeing whatever thing they did on the side, but they really had no clue what to freaking do with Protoman at this point. Like, it was, this story is, it was basically tailor-made for him to be a rival of Megaman, because he was, as the name suggests, the prototype for Megaman. He basically got his, he was the first robot to ever be built by Dr. Light. He basically got, was told by Wily, by Light, that he basically had a defect that basically would have killed him if something hasn't been done at a certain time. And the modification required for him to basically keep on living it was feared that by changing his core, it would have changed also his personality, making him less independent and more subservient, which was something that Protoman wasn't actually inclined to be. And thus he basically ran away from Light and stayed living by himself until his timer basically ran out. And it is at that point that it was found by Dr. Wily. Dr. Wily basically made the modifications for him to be saved, changed his core, and basically turned him against Light by the moment that he found out that his models were basically not only used for the Sniper Joe enemies, which are the Cyclop guys with the shield that are always very, very annoying, but also that Dr. Light made himself a new family with Rock and Roll, Megaman and Roll. It's the other girl assistant that he has. And at that point he basically grew up resentful of everything, and this is the reason why he was a villain in Mega Man 3, calling himself the Brakeman. But then, just in Mega Man 3, he decided to basically save himself. Oh, fuck off! Yeah, I'm not eating this death. I'm really not. If I miss... When I die by missing Rush for like a pixel, I'm rewinding, I'm sorry. But yeah, I was saying... basically, Protoman was resentful of Mega Man, and in Mega Man 3 they actually got to fight each other, but then, by the end of 3, he saves you from the collapsing building by taking you back to Dr. Light. So it's implied that in Mega Man 4, he basically was one by your side. And yet, we ended up facing him right now. And I am using the wrong weakness for this guy, because I'm calling Beat, but actually I should be using the water wave against this guy. I basically read the chart wrong. I don't remember all the weaknesses. This fight can be... It's not that hard, even if I'm doing a very terrible job at it. Yeah, this was like... Come on. The very last insult. Beat, you could have just killed him like 5 frames before I died. But yeah, I was saying, at the end of Mega Man 4, he comes up with Kalinka, the daughter of Dr. Cossack, and while it's angry at him because he said that he betrayed him, And at that point, you guess, well, he's helping us now, right? But apparently not. It was basically biding its time to get revenge one more time, and I wonder what the fuck these little robots are. Yeah, the change was necessary to remove your charge by the time you get if you get hit, but damn it, I won't be lying, it's annoying when you actually get in like this. But yeah, let's continue our journey throughout this big freaking castle. And I know that I'm basically complaining about a character being all over the place in a game for the NES. I realize that. This series is not exactly one for story, but at the same time you kinda try and get what everything they're trying to say. They wanna try to have some sort of continuity between games, but I'm gonna assume this wasn't a freaking priority when you have to shit out a game once a year at the speed of lightning. But at the end of the day, I'm criticizing this stuff with Protoman, but it's really just a gigantic nitpick. I don't have as much of an issue here as much as I have an issue with all the inconsistencies and random tonal shifts of the X series. Really, I think the X series tried a lot more, but at the same time it felt even more lost than the classic series at times. Yeah, this is what you get for trying to cheat the platforms, because get here, you think, no, I might get hit by the freaking spikes. So let's climb down and... Welp! Yeah. At some point you just had to bite the bullet and actually platform. In a platforming game, why would I want to platform in one of these? Come on, I have rushed just to ignore all this shit. Ouch. Yeah, this castle is probably the one of the hardest part of the game, and it's very long because, God forbid, you actually play this on hardware, and you actually don't get to you get to a point and you can't even save the game, and that would be quite annoying. Yeah. I don't want to get too much into it right now because I might get to play the X series at some point. I don't really want to exclude that, even though I'm not exactly in the mood right now, especially since I played the classic series. I prefer the classic because it's much more chill. The X series is definitely better in certain aspects. But I also like how immediate this is. I never really jived with the item collecting stuff. I always got the feeling at the back of my mind that, yeah, it was done to... Dick, move, Capcom. And yeah, I think I'm low on life. Let's get back and take this other life. But all the enemies keep respawning. And I end up with the exact same life that I had before picking up the item. Good job, Marcus. You are really a pro gamer. At least I got an extra life back. That's always room for... It's always been something, at least. But yeah, I have an issue with the X series when it comes to the story mode style. The games are amazing. I mean, some of them are. Not most of them, unfortunately, but... a good almost half of them are... Whatever. I have an issue with the story because it really felt like at times, even getting through X5, there was a little bit of internal conflict, especially with who the main character is supposed to be and who should be framed as the better one. Let's just say Inafune was freaking salty about having to change its character design, because if you don't know, Zero was always meant to be the original main character of the X series before Capcom basically told Inafune, this is too much, this is too different, let's make it more similar to Megaman. And then he ended up designing X. And then the story of Megaman X went as it did. And with X2 and beyond, it basically always felt like it was trying to reset the balance of who is the most important character of the two is right here. It's the red one. And yeah, it's kind of funny. I just I complain a bit, but at the same time I appreciate the conviction by Hinafune's part, at least in that. Unfortunately, I haven't played Legend. I know Legend has a very good story for what I heard. People are still very buttered about the ending of Legends 2. But for me, for the ones I played, they didn't really get a grasp of what story they really wanted to tell until they got to, I feel it was Megaman Zero. The Zero tetralogy, or was supposed to be a trilogy, I don't know, but anyway, Megaman Zero, it's the one that really tells the best story. I like how all these robots have this gimmick where they start slow as balls, but by the time you actually get some damage done to him, they start speeding up like they have a jalapenos shoved up the rear end or something. Only 2 more stage to go. I like also, I was talking about the music before, and yeah, I love how epic this sounds. It's so happy. I don't know if this is fitting for like extremely fitting for like a final dungeon or that, but I really enjoy how happy this is. Come on, stupid freaking Sniper Joe on a plane. That is probably one of the most annoying enemies in this. Coupled with the freaking tigers, and you saw before how much shit they gave me. Thank you again for another extra life. I'm drowning in those. Yeah, if I have to pick up the a ranking of the most annoying enemies in this game, first place would be the tigers, second place that freaking dudes with the shield, and third place the helicopter dudes. At least this stage has a good atmosphere. I like night stages. Come on, you stupid metal, get out of your hiding spot! My god, it always feels cool having a real chilly night. I hate the fact that they keep putting these enemies on shield in these annoying as hell places. You always got to stop, and then you have all these planes spawning out of nowhere. Just something to really shit on the pace of your exploration. Come on! Yeah, this is a place where I thought I could get to use the rush items and super arrow a little more to proceed. I'm being possible just with the super arrow because you might never know. Oh, we're playing Mario World right now. What is this, Castle 5? I love this snake-like thing. This stuff like this really shows that they were really try to show off the fact that, yeah, it's still the NES, it's still 1992, but we can do a lot more than what we could do with the years before. Mega Man 5 might be seen as something of a weak link in this series. Come on! Yeah, this was a shitty freaking place, but I don't want to deal with those giant squishy enemies that were just this Gutsman clone, because apparently Wily has a freaking hard on for Gutsman, it seems. And I just made an advert spoiler, but who cares, it's Megaman. But yeah, I don't want to face those enemies because it would take a freaking forever to kill them, and I don't want to spend half an hour just sliding under the freaking legs. You're not worth my attention, go away. I realize I'm not exactly doing myself any favors, but I really do not want to engage. Do not engage with meaty, giant, boulder enemies that always exist to be bullet sponges and waste your time. I might change that philosophy in the future, depending on the games. Oh, come on, it's the third one in a row! And I'm ignoring that E-tag because I thought I was full having 4 E-tags. But yeah. I found out later that no, you can't actually hold more than just 4. Unfortunately, I found out that when I when I got to play Megaman 6 again. Let's see what other robot Protoman has got up his sleeve. So this is basically a Flashman clone, because it has that freaking gun up his shoulder, but it can also freeze time if it hits you. And if you're lucky, you can basically stay frozen in time in a place where he cannot freaking reach you for the life of his. But yeah, at the same time, be very careful about his machine gun, because yeah, it can do some damage. Come on, just decide to die, please. Yeah, congratulations, you completely managed to miss every single shot that you had. Twice. And here we go. The next stage should be the last, if I recall correctly. Come on, show me the map. I know you like your freaking castle design, but still. Yeah, here we go. At least this stage has something particular, because it's basically all held together by all these columns. And you are basically destroying these columns to make the stage scroll down. It's basically an auto-scroller, but controlled by the player. And you basically have to make it all crumble in order to reach the final boss room. And I'm being very careful here because I'm actually scared about blowing up way too much of the level. And I love the fact that basically it doesn't matter how many blocks in the middle you break. Just be careful not breaking the one that is actually holding the floor together. Thankfully, it doesn't really apply with realistic, quote-unquote, physics. Protoman, your whistle sounds very funny. Oh, come on, dude. We're supposed to be friends, jeez. Uh-huh? What is this? Another Protoman? Oh, so that one is a fake. So someone was trying to frame Protoman, I see. Yeah, this was basically Darkman all along. And this final form is basically a combination of all the 3 other Darkmans that we fought before. And as you can see, it's weak to beat, but it's really fast and it's like a goddamn truck. You have to basically avoid not only his shots, but also his freaking shield every time he decides to jump. And I'm doing a mistake here, I wanted to heal, but I decided against it. And then I basically ended up desummoning Beat. And yes, I rewinded here for a reason, because you see how many freaking lives do I have? And I don't want to face this guy without his weakness. And his weakness is basically just Beat. So it basically will have ended with me wasting all my lives trying to beat this guy. And No. At this point, I basically prefer to do this way. You've done well, Megaman. I never expected you to defeat my powerful Darkman robot. Until now, I have managed to frame Protoman for my crimes. But now that the real Protoman has appeared and spoiled my plan, Dr. Light is a captive in my lab. Come if you dare! Oh my god, it was Dr. Wily all along! I tried to maintain the surprise. But yeah, we see our meeting with Dr. Wily in the next part of Megaman 5. Stay safe, guys, and have a very nice day.